Act, don't question. That's the secret they never told you. While the rest of the world hesitates, second guesses, and spins in circles of doubt, you could be the one making things happen. Sound bold? It is. And that's exactly the mindset the ancient wisdom of Pūrva Mīmāṃsā offers us. Think about it. How many times have you been stuck in your head, overthinking every little detail, only to let an opportunity slip away? Or maybe you're paralyzed by perfectionism, waiting for the right time to start something. Here's the reality. Action is what changes everything. Not perfect action, not even confident action, just action. In this video, we're diving deep into the timeless lessons of Pūrva Mīmāṃsā, lessons that'll teach you how to embrace responsibility, build discipline, trust proven wisdom, and act with purpose. These aren't abstract ideas. They're practical tools you can start using today to cut through the noise and move forward in life. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels and ready to finally take control, stick around. You're about to learn the philosophy that will break you free from hesitation and unlock your true potential. Oh, and before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because trust me, you don't want to miss the kind of insights we're sharing here. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Honor your responsibilities, the essence of Dharma. Imagine waking up each morning knowing exactly what you're meant to do, feeling grounded in purpose, and carrying a sense of harmony with every step. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? Well, that's the power of living in alignment with Dharma, a word that carries the weight of duty, responsibility, and universal order. But here's the catch. Dharma isn't some abstract, lofty ideal reserved for monks or sages. It's right here in your day-to-day life. It's in the way you treat others, in how you approach your work, and in the promises you keep. Think of Dharma as your personal compass, guiding you to act in a way that creates balance, not just for you, but for the world around you. Let's get practical. Are you juggling work deadlines, family commitments, and 1,000 other responsibilities? It's easy to feel like you're being pulled in every direction. But Dharma teaches us to prioritize, to see these responsibilities not as burdens, but as opportunities to contribute to something greater. For instance, when you show up to work on time and give your best, you're honoring your Dharma in the professional sphere. When you take the time to help a neighbor or listen to a friend in need, you're weaving harmony into your community. Here's a little challenge for today. Think about one area of your life where you've been slacking. Maybe it's a project you've procrastinated on or a relationship you've neglected. Commit to showing up fully. No excuses, no half measures. You'll be amazed at how fulfilling it feels to simply honor your word. Now, if you're wondering how all of this ties into those rituals and actions that ancient sages swore by, well, we're just getting started. Keep reading, because the next step in this journey will show you how rituals can transform your life. Lesson 2. The power of ritual, building structure in life. Think about your daily routine for a moment. Is it a chaotic whirlwind, or does it have a rhythm that keeps you grounded? The truth is, our days are shaped by rituals, whether intentional or accidental. And here's the kicker. The rituals you choose can either fuel your success or drain your energy. The Pūrva Mīmāṃsā philosophy saw rituals as more than just symbolic acts. They were the threads that wove together the fabric of life, creating structure, purpose, and even connection with the universe. Now, I'm not saying you need to light incense and chant mantras at sunrise unless that speaks to you. But you can embrace rituals in a modern way to bring clarity and consistency to your life. Let's break this down. Imagine starting your day with a ritual as simple as drinking a glass of water and taking 3 deep breaths before checking your phone. Sounds small, right? But this act of intention sets the tone for your entire day. Or take a moment to reflect on the power of a consistent evening wind down, whether it's journaling, meditating, or simply laying out your goals for tomorrow. These micro-rituals anchor you amidst life's chaos. Here's another example. Ever notice how athletes have pre-game rituals? It's not superstition, it's about creating a mental state of focus and readiness. You can do the same. Before tackling a big task, try a ritual to center yourself, like listening to an empowering song or visualizing your success. These rituals are your secret weapon for channeling energy where it matters most. And the best part, rituals don't just serve you, they ripple outward. When you show up with structure and purpose, others feel it too. So, what's stopping you from creating rituals that align with your goals? Speaking of alignment, have you ever wondered why action carries so much weight in shaping our destiny? That's where we're headed next, so stay with me. Lesson 3. Action over speculation, the focus on karma. Let's face it, overthinking is the silent killer of dreams. How often do we sit there, dissecting every little possibility, only to end up paralyzed by indecision? The Pūrva Mīmāṃsā philosophy doesn't have time for that nonsense. It says, forget the endless mental gymnastics. Just act. Now, this isn't about being reckless or impulsive. It's about recognizing that karma action is the engine of progress. You don't need to see the entire staircase. Just take the first step. The beauty of action is that it clears the fog of uncertainty. Every move you make creates momentum, and with it, clarity begins to unfold. Think about starting a new project at work. You could spend hours planning every detail, or you could dive in learning and adapting as you go. The latter is how you actually get things done. Or consider fitness. You don't need the perfect workout routine to start exercising. Just put on your shoes and take a walk. The effort itself creates the path. But here's the twist. The philosophy also teaches us to act without attachment to results. That's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? We're conditioned to expect rewards for everything we do. Yet, when we let go of obsessing over outcomes, we unlock a deeper sense of freedom. You're not chasing the carrot, you're moving because it's the right thing to do. Here's something you can try today. Pick one thing you've been putting off because you're waiting for the perfect time. Spoiler alert, there's no such thing. Just take one small action toward it. Maybe it's sending that email you've been dreading or setting a timer for 20 minutes to start organizing your space. Once you're in motion, you'll see how quickly the resistance fades. But what if I told you that your actions could be supercharged by something as simple as trust? Trust in wisdom that's been proven time and again. Intrigued? Let's keep going. Lesson 4. Trust proven wisdom, the role of authority. In a world where everyone has an opinion, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by noise. But let me share a secret. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is lean on wisdom that stood the test of time. The Pūrva Mīmāṃsā philosophy treats the Vedas as an eternal authority, not because they're ancient, but because they offer proven principles for living a balanced, meaningful life. Now, I get it, trusting authority might sound old-fashioned, especially in a time when questioning everything is the norm. But here's the thing, proven wisdom isn't about blindly following rules. It's about building a foundation you can rely on when everything else feels uncertain. Take this to a practical level. Think about the advice of someone you admire. Maybe it's a mentor, a grandparent, or even a book that changed your perspective. Their insights, shaped by experience, can save you from trial and error. For instance, the habit of saving 10% of your income isn't just a financial tip. It's a principle that's worked across generations. Why? Because it's rooted in timeless wisdom. Here's an example you can try today. Think about an area where you're struggling, whether it's relationships, career, or personal growth. Instead of Googling for hours, turn to a trusted source. It could be a well-regarded book, Bhagavad Gita, a podcast by an expert, or even revisiting advice you've been given but never acted on. Trusting proven wisdom isn't about being passive. It's about actively seeking and applying what works. But trusting wisdom doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for life to happen. It's a starting point, a way to guide your actions. And speaking of action, what if I told you that even the smallest effort could ripple out in ways you can't yet imagine? Stay with me, we're about to uncover how effort connects to outcomes. Lesson 5. Invisible Outcomes. Faith in Effort. Have you ever done something and felt like it didn't matter? Maybe you put in hours at work, only for someone else to take the credit. Or maybe you've been working on yourself, reading, exercising, meditating, but you don't see the results you expected. Here's the truth: your effort is never wasted, even when the outcome isn't immediately visible. The Pūrva Mīmāṃsā philosophy introduces the idea of a purva, an invisible force created by action. Think of it as a kind of energy stored in the universe, waiting for the right moment to manifest as a result. You might not see it right away, but every positive action you take plants a seed. And just like a seed, some things take time to grow. Imagine this: you're trying to build healthier habits. You commit to walking 10 minutes a day, drinking more water, or reading one chapter of a book before bed. At first, it might feel pointless, like those small actions aren't doing much. But over weeks, those tiny efforts compound. Your energy improves, your mind sharpens, and suddenly, you realize the invisible has become visible. Here's a practical way to apply this. Write down one area of your life where you've been putting in effort but feeling frustrated. Next to it, list the small actions you've been taking. Then remind yourself, just because you can't see the results now doesn't mean they're not building. And if you're looking for a nudge, pick one more action to add to the mix. Maybe it's sending a kind message to someone, learning one new skill, or spending 10 minutes organizing your day. The beauty of this mindset, it shifts your focus from obsessing over outcomes to valuing the process itself. And when you embrace the process, something magical happens. You begin to see how every effort shapes not just your world, but you as a person. But what's the secret to maintaining this kind of discipline over time? That's where practice comes in. Let's dive into it next. Lesson 6. Discipline through practice, shaping behavior. Here's a hard truth: discipline isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. And the only way to build it is through practice. The Pūrva Mīmāṃsā philosophy treats disciplined action as the cornerstone of a meaningful life. Why? Because consistent effort over time doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. Think of discipline as a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. But here's the kicker: you don't need to overhaul your entire life to get started. It's the small, repeated actions that create lasting habits. For example, if you want to wake up earlier, start by setting your alarm just 15 minutes earlier each day. Gradual steps make change sustainable. Here's another way to look at it. Imagine you're learning to play an instrument. You won't master the guitar overnight, right? But 20 minutes of daily practice will do more for you than a 4-hour session once a month. The same principle applies to everything in life, whether it's improving your health, relationships, or skills. Discipline is about showing up, even when it's hard, and trusting that every bit of effort adds up. To make this tangible, pick one thing you want to improve. Maybe it's your fitness, your focus, or even how often you connect with loved ones. Now commit to a daily practice, even if it's just 5 minutes. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. And here's a pro tip: track your progress. Whether it's a journal, an app, or a simple checklist, seeing those small wins can be incredibly motivating. Now, you might be wondering, what happens when life throws me off track? That's where the next piece of the puzzle comes in: understanding how to harmonize your actions with a greater flow of life. Ready? Let's keep going. Lesson 7. Harmonize with nature, aligning actions with universal order. Picture this: a river doesn't fight the rocks in its path. It flows around them, carving its way effortlessly. That's how life works when you align your actions with the natural rhythm of the universe. The Pūrva Mīmāṃsā philosophy teaches us that harmony isn't about control. It's about adapting to the flow of life. In practical terms, this means learning to recognize when to push and when to pause. For example, have you ever tried to force something like solving a problem or convincing someone of your point of view, only to feel frustrated? That's because resistance often breeds resistance. But when you step back and let things unfold naturally, solutions have a way of appearing. Here's a relatable example. Think about your energy levels throughout the day. Instead of trying to power through when you're clearly drained, take a moment to recharge. Maybe it's a quick walk outside, a 5-minute meditation, or even a cup of tea. By working with your natural rhythm instead of against it, you'll find that your productivity and creativity improve. The same principle applies to relationships. Instead of pushing others to meet your expectations, focus on creating an environment where understanding and connection can naturally grow. Sometimes the best action is no action at all, just being present and receptive. If you're wondering how to apply this in your daily life, start by observing where you're experiencing resistance. Is it at work, in your personal goals, or with a specific person? Then ask yourself, how can I flow around the obstacle rather than push through it? This small shift in mindset can make a huge difference. And if you're curious about how all these lessons come together to create a life of balance and fulfillment, you're in for a treat. Let's bring it all home in the next part of the journey. Now that you've seen how these ancient lessons from Pūrva Mīmāṃsā can transform your life, the real question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you ready to honor your responsibilities, embrace the power of rituals, and take purposeful action without overthinking? Because here's the truth, nothing will change unless you start applying what you've learned. So, what's one thing you can commit to today? Maybe it's creating a small morning ritual, trusting in consistent effort, or letting go of the need for perfect outcomes. Remember, your actions today shape the life you'll wake up to tomorrow. It's time to stop waiting and start living. If this resonated with you, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss another deep dive into life-changing wisdom. Also, if you want to explore these ideas further, check out the Bhagavad Gita, a book packed with insights that complement everything we've discussed. It's super affordable, and you can find the link in the first pinned comment below. Thank you for watching, and if you're ready to keep growing, click the card on the screen to dive into our next video. Your journey doesn't end here, it's just beginning.